In this video, I'm going to show you how I take everything that you see over here and transform it into this, my ultimate camera rig for sports videography. Hey, what's going on? My name is Peter Sarellas. I'm a videographer and editor from Toronto, Canada. I specialize in sports videography. And like I said, today I'm going to show you my full Sony A7IV camera rig that I use to film football games, basketball games, whatever else I have to film as a sports videographer. My goals with this rig were, one, make it heavy enough that it's stable, which might seem counterintuitive. Maybe you don't want to be holding something too heavy all game, and neither do I. So I tried to strike a good balance between heavy enough to be stable when using longer focal lengths and not too heavy that it creates back problems or anything like that. I also don't want to have to worry about batteries. So this camera rig can get you through a full game without even having to think about battery power for anything, which is great. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to get the looks that I wanted. So this way I can kind of control the way that my image is going to look. If we're in the sun, I can make lens swaps fairly easily still, even though it's a more built out rig. And I have a good monitor that's going to let me shoot the footage that I want to shoot and expose it properly no matter the conditions. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start by talking about what I have right here. So this here is the Sony A7IV, and I shoot with the Sony 70-200mm f4 lens. I've also got this small rig cage. This cage is actually the small rig cage for the Sony A7 III, which I already had one of. And I just tried putting it on my Sony A7IV to see if it would fit, and it actually fit like a glove. So I just bought a second one and put it on this camera as well. And it's been working perfectly for me. I also have this little top bit here that comes with the top handle that I bought, which we'll talk about later. But essentially you add this top bit right here to your camera cage, and then you can screw the handle onto that, and you don't need to worry about using an actual tool to put your handle for your rig on and off every time. And then on the bottom here, I have this small rig base plate with these two holes. And these holes are actually to put rods through, and the rods support other accessories that we use in the camera rig. We'll talk about those later as well. But this setup right here with these four items, camera, lens, cage, and rod mount thing, I don't know what that's called. I'm gonna put everything in the description, but these four items don't leave my camera. They're always attached, and I carry it around like this, and then I build it out from there. So let's start building. The first thing we're gonna do is take these two rods. I believe these are 2-foot rods. They're also from Small Rig. I swear to God, this video is not sponsored by Small Rig. I just have a lot of their stuff. But hey, Small Rig, if you want to sponsor me, I already use all your stuff, so let me know. I use these two rods from Small Rig to kind of build the rig out onto. So we're gonna slide these just in here, and it looks like I have to loosen this up a little bit. There we go. We're gonna slide these rods right into here. And we're gonna use an external battery to power our camera, and we're gonna mount that onto the back of the camera. So we want there to be a lot more room on the back here rather than the front. So we're not gonna stick the rods forward like this. We're not doing that because this isn't really usable space with the lens right here. If we're gonna add a follow focus, this would be perfect. But because we wanna add a VMount battery, we're gonna stick these rods back just like that. And with those back, we're just gonna tighten this up. But there we go. So now we have these rods on the camera. They're nice and secure. I can hold the camera from the rods and shake it around. It's not going anywhere. So that's solid. I should probably take the camera strap off. Honestly, being a little lazy about it, we're gonna leave it on. But next, we have this VMount battery plate, also from Small Rig. Everything will be linked in the description. And basically this allows you to put your VMount battery onto this plate, and then you can run other power accessories off of the plate using these ports all on the side here, or you got a D-tap right here. So we're gonna put this onto the camera, and this is gonna support the battery that's going to power the camera for hours and hours and hours. So you take this bit right here, where there's clearly two rod holes, as you can see, and we're gonna slide them right in just like that. We might need to loosen them a little. Nope. All right, right in. So this is perfect. Now we just have to tighten this up. And I like to put this on so that I have enough space to like flip this flip screen out on the Sony A7IV. So I'm gonna move this here a little. And now you can see there's like clearance for the flip screen to flip in and out in case I want to use it for something. So this seems like a good position for this. Let's tighten her up. And we're good. All right, so now we're on to our battery. So I have the Moment VMount battery. I'm pretty sure I got this off of Amazon. It was much cheaper than your standard VMount batteries, and it has been performing really well for me so far. I'm also not powering a big cinema camera, I'm powering a mirrorless camera. So a smaller, cheaper VMount battery is something that I can get away with, and it gives me more than enough juice. So this just clips on like that, and you can see that we have power that we can use right here on the top of the VMount. We have two USB-A ports, and then on the side we have a D-tap, and then we also have a D-tap on this side just in case that's more convenient. And you can just click this button right here to check your power. Then let's get to actually using this VMount battery to power our camera. First, we want to take out the battery that's already in here. Just get rid of that. And I've got this dummy battery for Sony mirrorless cameras. The brand is Zite, I don't know. But essentially, it's a dummy battery, so the camera thinks that it has a battery in it. But realistically, you are running this cable that's attached to the dummy battery to a different power source, and that power source is feeding the camera through this dummy battery, which has little connector points right here that you can see. So we're gonna stick the dummy battery into the camera, and we got this little cord running out of it. We'll leave the door open, and this is going to run straight into our VMount plate. And this VMount plate has a little power switch on the side. So if we just tap the power switch, you can see we get this blue light. And now I can turn the camera on. I'll flip out the flip screen, which we left enough clearance for. Take the lens cap off. And you can see that we get some sort of an image. Like the screen is clearly on, just pointing at my chest, but it's on. And now we have to worry about connecting our monitor. So first, I like to take my top handle here. This is from a company called Magic Rig, which I'm assuming is just a small rig knockoff. Sorry, small rig, still sponsor me. Your handle was expensive, and this one was cheaper and good. And this actually is a good handle. It's got a lot of mounting points on it. It's very easy to connect. Like I said before, it has this little top thing that you can attach to your cage, so you don't need to actually like take a tool and screw it on. In case you do need a tool though, there's a little Allen key that comes attached right in here, which is great. You just stick it into the handle and it sits there all the time, so you have an Allen key at your disposal no matter what. So we're just going to screw this on like so. And now you can just hold the entire rig from this handle. It's not going anywhere. The monitor that I'm using is the Sony A6 Plus. I've definitely talked about this monitor on the channel before. The reason I'm using this monitor in particular is because it's a fairly budget-friendly option, but it still gives you lots of tools for monitoring your exposure, like a histogram and false color, and it gives you the opportunity to use input LUTs, which you can either bring into the monitor yourself via an SD card, like this, or you can use the LUTs that are already built into the camera. If there's an S-Log3 LUT already built in to this monitor, so I usually use the built-in S-Log3 conversion LUT to monitor what I'm filming to make sure that the image looks good and I'm not overexposing or underexposing. And then when I bring my clips into edit, they're all in S-Log3 and I have all the flexibility of filming in log, but I know that they're exposed properly and I'm not guessing by looking at a small little LCD screen like this. Let's attach this monitor right here, and the air conditioning just kicked on, so if you hear that, I'm very sorry. So we've got this monitor here, and contrary to what I've been saying, can you even see me anymore behind this rig? I should move this out of the way. So contrary to what I've been saying previously, I actually don't power my monitor with the VMount battery. I was reading online, and I'm such a skeptic, but I was reading online and I saw something that said if you power a monitor and your camera from the same VMount, it leads to the possibility of your HDMI port shorting out on the camera. I have no idea whether that's true or not. So if someone who's like watching this video knows whether I can safely power my monitor and my camera from this V-mount, please let me know. But either way, this monitor doesn't take up that much power, so I've got this big fat Sony battery. This is a Sony A7IV, and I know they make bigger ones as well. And I usually just put this on the back of the monitor and it'll get me through a full game, no problem. So that's like a really easy solution for me. And just in case that rolls out, I have two smaller Sony batteries that I keep over here in my camera bag as like backups. So I'm never really worried about battery power for my monitor. But I don't know, it'd be nice to do it off the V-mount just in case. But either way, we'll clip this right in there. And obviously this isn't done yet because it's not connected to the camera. So I got this braided HDMI cable. I'm pretty sure this is from Amazon Basics. But I also bought these 90-degree HDMI adapter things. And what these basically let me do is connect the HDMI cable from the monitor to the camera without it having to like bend all over the place. By having these connector cables, I can keep everything really compact. So I'll show you what I mean. I connect this to the HDMI in on the monitor, and then I connect it to the full-size HDMI right here on my camera. And now, because I have these two Velcro zip ties holding this cable together, I can just kind of keep it in a nice circle here, and it's out of the way. I can hold the camera pretty comfortably and not need to worry about that being an issue. Whereas if I didn't have these 90-degree HDMI things, I'll just take one off to show you. Now I have to bend the cable like this, and it's sticking all the way out here, and there's not really anything I can do about it. And I need to have more cable loose and not tied up. So for like a $10 fix to kind of keep my cables managed, these little HDMI things are definitely worth it. So this is coming along pretty well. We're almost done here, but we haven't talked about a microphone yet. So this is the Rode Video Micro, which I am using. It's pretty basic. It's a cheap microphone, but it does the job in a pinch. And if I'm ever gonna like film someone in an actual interview, I'm gonna use a lav or a proper shotgun anyways. So for just capturing half decent cam audio, this does the trick. Just attach it to the mounting point on this cage, and I can run it into the 3.5mm jack right over here. I also have this cable splitter, which I can use to separate the left and the right channels. So if I wanna ever capture audio of a player mic'd up or something using the lav mic right here, the Rode Wireless Go, then I'll plug the Rode Video Micro into one channel, and I'll plug the Rode Wireless Go, the lav mic, into the other channel, and then this can run right here into my 3.5mm jack, just like that, and I can get two sources of audio pretty easily. And I can kind of like hook them here with the HDMI cable to make sure that everything stays solid. But we're not gonna do that right now. We'll just plug this in like that, and now we have our microphone. We're almost done. There's a couple accessories I still want to talk about that are very useful, especially when you're filming in the sun. So I've got this small rig matte box right here. And I know it seems super excessive, like why are you using a matte box on a Sony A7IV? Well, a lot of the stuff I film nowadays is outside. I'm doing a lot of football stuff, and you can get a lot of sun glaring down on you in the field and just like washing out your image. So if I want to avoid having my image completely washed out by the sun, I will slap this matte box on the front of my lens, and I can bring this hood up and cut a lot of that glare to still keep my images looking sharp in bright sunlight. Speaking of which, I didn't touch on filters in this video. Sorry. But anyways, with regard to the matte box, so when you buy this matte box, they give you 4 step-up rings, all from different thread sizes up to 95mm. So you basically just look at whatever the thread size is for your lens. I'm pretty sure that mine is a 72mm thread. Yes, it is. And we'll go through these lenses, we'll go through these step-up rings and find the one that's 72mm right here. And you just screw it onto the front of your lens, just like that. And then you can loosen the matte box by just turning this thing. That should be fully loosened now. So you gotta fully loosen it. Then you stick the matte box onto the 95mm thread, and you just turn this thing on the side to tighten it up. And then right here, you can just loosen this bit to bring this down and fully cover your lens, or to bring it up and stop it at any level that you want. So let's just leave it right here. Also, if you want to get filters that can slide into your matte box, you can. This thing just pulls out just like that. And then you can just like slide it right back in. I'm gonna do this at a weird angle so the camera can see it. And hopefully it doesn't make it too difficult for me. But that slides in right there as well. So that's pretty straightforward. So this is most of the rig. The only other thing that I like to add to this rig on occasion is this, the Insta360 1R, and I'll usually put this on the side of my rig to get like behind the scenes type of content, stuff for Instagram Reels. Sometimes it gives me a cool perspective of the game if a player comes like too close to my camera. So I just have this magic arm, once again from Small Rig, and I'll attach this to the side of the Small Rig cage here, and then basically just like stick it out like this, and I'll put the Insta360 on like that. So let's actually do that real quick. Then you just attach the Insta360 1R, and that's it. So this right here, this bad boy, is my full camera rig for filming sports videography. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel because I post videography and video editing tips and tutorial videos similar to this one on a regular basis, and I'd love to have you around for that. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, drop it down in the comment section and I will get back to you. If you want to check out the equipment that I used to build this camera rig, I'm going to link everything down in the description. I also have like a little Amazon shop thing set up, so I can kind of like consolidate everything into a list for you if you want to go look at it in more detail and read a little bit of an explanation about certain items availability. But I'm also just going to put all the links right in the description there. Anyways, that is going to be all for this video. So until next time, peace.